So the rods are all cleaned up.
More or less.
Mostly. Nice finish now. Bearing surfaces.
This is smooth. Crank pin's clean. Steal the key off the other crank pin. Snug. Remember, you're never supposed to hit a crank pin key with a hammer.
So what we were illustrating is what not to do.
What was that?
Exactly. We were installing the crank key. Crank pin key.
Now I got burrs on it. Damn people. Sometimes they don't fit.
And there's other times you just make it fit.
Yeah. At this time I don't like going in, but it'll go in here. Alright, so now we're going to take our green sleeve retainer up to it. Do not put it in the oil hole. Very important. You want to go about 2/3 of the way up the taper because you don't want to squirt it all over the darn rod bearing area. And take your red Loctite, which is 3-bond in this tile play right now. It is red on the threads. And stick it in there. Make sure the oil hole lines up. Yeah, it looks like 90 degrees.
If manufactured correctly, it should line up.
Yeah. Now, when you hit on a crank, you always hit flat.
Yeah, you don't want to mushroom the end of it there, and you can't get the...
You don't want to mush the thread, yes. Okay, I have to get it all in there all the way. Make sure that your key is in there correctly and it didn't go turn sideways. So, remember, you're not supposed to use a steel hammer. Very important. Unless you have to.
Unless you need a lot of persuasion.
Clean up these nuts. I gotta clean these nuts up. Be like a minute.
Alright, now we've cleaned our nuts up.
Yep. Now the reason you're not supposed to beat that in there with a hammer is because you can split the crank pin wide open on the keyway. My theory is, though, if the keyway was not meant to be beat on, why did they put a keyway in there? And if the heat treating is overheat treated like that anyway, the crank pin's going to break anyway. So might as well break it now that you know it's no good. Didn't have it in your motor and have it break. Yeah, that's the one you needed. Now you torque these down, but don't tight too much. Yeah, that's about it.
About right.
Yeah, almost. Okay, now we go over the press and we tighten up the rest away. You cut that for now.
Now we have the flywheel set up in the press. And we have the large torque wrench.
Alright, the press holds the flywheel so you can torque on it. So you put a couple of pressure on it.
About 2 tons.
It's dropping as you talk. Now you get a little bit of torque. Being stock nuts, you can't torque it very much, so.
It's about 300 foot-pounds.
Are you on Newton meters or are you on foot pounds?
Which one's... The outside's 300. Where's the...
You mean that number right there?
Yeah,
it's about 250.
Okay, yeah. So the inside numbers.
Yeah. We don't want to go too good, so we'll stop at 250. If we had better quality materials, we'd go to 400. Or more. Okay. We have a brand new bearing pack. Make sure you put a little lubricant on there, but not red Loctite.
That's Torco semi-lube.
Yes. This is different than Loctite.
Same color, different consistency.
Yes. I've mixed it once. It didn't work very good. Tended to not quite be correctly after you did it. Kind of notice it's a little bit different when I smear it on. Don't think that's going to work.
A little bit different consistency.
Yeah. Make sure you keep it off the taper like that.
Yeah, because it's where the green goo is going to go.
Yes, it is. I do know that. A little bit on the side, but not a lot. Yes, I don't pour it on by the gallon. You don't need to.
A finger full at a time?
Yeah. Plus this stuff costs a lot and you don't need to be wasting it like that.
We're being cost effective.
Yeah, that too. It always knows I'm cheap. Boom. If you do it like that, the bearings don't fall off. Let me put some more goop on there. This might be all it gets for the first 100 miles, so I've actually had guys ride their bike for 100 miles with no oil pressure.
Because they didn't put any oil in it?
No, they had oil in it. It just wasn't pumping. So if you have the assembly lube in there, it'll actually tolerate that abuse, surprisingly, for about 100 miles. Alright, so you got a good load of grease goop on there. There's no assembly lube. Now you gotta remember, thin part goes in the fork, like that.
So it fit.
And the male rod goes in the front, the female in the back. And we're on which flywheel? The right side? Yes. Yeah. Sometimes it goes on like this. Up and out, look, right side, rear rod, front rod. Now it's slid together nice, so that's your first sign that you're probably close. And then you take your, and feel it. See how loose that one looks? You see it with the camera? Hit the light. See, look right here at the beam. See how loose that is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is the same clearance as this one right here. See how little that one loose?
Mm-hmm.
Same identical clearance. So if this one feels as tight as that one, there's something wrong.
Gotcha.
A little bit of oil on the dust washer there. Put a little bit of magic goop right there. Make sure that you do not put more than about 2/3 of the way up that taper, and don't put it on very thick.
Because it's already going to be a press fit. So
Excess goes into the bearings, so
that's bad.
there's a lot of oil right there where the bearings are, so it probably won't stick anyway, but just to make sure. Now you could put it inside the taper over here too, but I just do it this way. You stick it together, and give it a slight rotate. That smears it a little bit. Make sure you get a good even pattern. Okay, where's the lid at? Okay, now we take our red Loctite. I could have put that on earlier, but I got sidetracked. Okay, clean that. And when you tighten this up, you want to make sure this is fairly flat. So you get the best opportunity at 90 degrees of being flat without being like this.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I get a flat tail, I push down with it and I tighten it lightly. And you put your straightedge across here and see if the straightedge moves. See how this one's still flat?
Mm-hmm.
That means the flywheel is still original. I'm going to give it one more of those. A lot of times it'll move. This one's still pretty good. Okay, we'll check our in-play. See how much in-play we got? Mm-hmm. Plenty of in-play. So now I go ahead and torque this down, which is going to tighten it up a little bit.
We're back.
Okay, you put it over here. We're going to press the flywheels evenly so that the flywheels stay true and not twisting. If they twist on you, it's more work than a truing stone. Now we go ahead and torque the nut down.
Watch out.
Look up for a minute. Unless you want a torque wrench in the back. Come back and hit that again. I'm trying to keep the flywheels from clamshelling as you torque them.
Mm-hmm.
So you retorque them here just to make sure. It's kind of mushy. I'm starting to get a little bit of torque now, finally.
About 220.
One more time. Preferably this one's tighter than the other side.
250, 260.
That's about all we're going to get out of that.
About 265.
You can feel it, it's just not getting tighter, so you stop. Okay, make sure your rods still have in-play, which they do. If they do not have in-play, we'll take it back apart and fix it. Which means grind the rods. Okay, all this stuff is in there like it's supposed to be. Everything's nice and free. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put the truing stand.
Flywheel touring stand.
Yeah, somebody's got this set in the wrong spot. Don't know what they were doing last. Yeah, it should be close enough. Probably work on like a 45 or something.
Let's pick something small.
Yeah, I went too far. Oh well. It's alright. So they make longer tapers for it. Now this one here, I was going to try to true this without taking this apart, but I don't think that's going to work. Ooh, it almost does. Clunk. That will not work that way. Get this clip out of the way. There might be enough room now. See, every time you take this nut off here, it shifts the crank and it's not true again. So you always want to leave this nut tight and alone, don't screw with them. Yeah, it just clears, kind of. Well, I think we're going to have a problem here. And the pliers need to clip over. Going on this way. Now it'll work.
Not too bad.
Yeah, got some issues, but now these early ones, for late cranks, you want to beat on very much because it's this diameter all the way over to here. So it's a small diameter, so it'll twist on you real bad. So you got to be careful how you chew these up. Something's going on with these rods. They keep locking up. I think it's the nail rod.
Not enough lube worked in there yet?
I'm not sure what it is. I don't feel it right now. Oop, did you see that? Something's wrong. I don't feel it. Something's definitely not right. Something ain't right. I wonder if those rod cages are wider than the rod or something like that. So, tear apart, find out.